meeting is called to order at 5:30. Roll call. Connie?
Here.
Lana? Dana?
Yes.
Rob?
Here.
Al?
Here.
Angie?
Here.
Tony?
Here.
Dee?
Here.
Anybody, did I miss anybody? All right. Consent agenda, approval of the agenda, approval of the minutes, approval of the bills, and building permits. Has everybody had a chance to review the building permits?
Yes.
Okay. So, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Yeah, I got on the tail end, something about trimming, the fence is going to be on the back and the side.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
okay? I only got bits and pieces.
Well, the building code is, it says you can have a privacy fence in the backyard.
So is the
And
backyard.
You
the
can
back and the
have,
side?
you can have a fence in the front yard, but it has to meet certain conditions. It does not address side yard. Our building ordinances don't address the side yard. So,
All right,
Of course,
it's
it's like back, front.
yeah.
There's some considered
Because
back.
that to me is still kind of the back,
It
you know, it
is,
could be on the
yes.
side, but that's.
typically the backyard extends from the back facade of the house to the rear lot line. Same for the front. Goes from the front facade to the front line, which is basically, for most homes, it's in the inside of the sidewalk. So. but
Oh, if it's not in there.
It's not in our ordinance to address the side yard, so, you know, it's one of those things where you can go either way,
So Corliss okayed that.
yeah. And I'm assuming because it did not address the side yard,
I move
Anyway.
to approve the consent agenda.
so. Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda is approved. All right. Treasurer's report, Dee?
Looked up the bank reconciliation for the month of July and everything appears to be correct. Went over the CD report, noticed there was one fund that earned interest, library trust. Reviewed the transactions in the account payable on the dates listed and reviewed the time sheets for the two payroll periods and everything appeared to be correct. And reviewed the general ledger entries for the month.
Is there any questions for Dee? Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
What do you say?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Treasurer's report is accepted. Council's comments. Lana, do you have anything?
I think we're gonna address them tonight.
Okay.
No.
Connie? Al?
Talk to West, about the pool. They are not recommending anything because there's nothing taken, there was, according to West, technically no damage done. The best he would recommend, the county attorney told me, was a misdemeanor. And, one of the young men is in service and he doesn't want that to jeopardize his military. But if we push, he'd go with the misdemeanor, they won't know anything about that. Because there was nothing taken, there was no damage. And all we lost was wages in the lifeguards and Amy cleaning the mess up, so. I don't know what we wanna do about that from there.
I have a concern about that. I realize supposedly this individual or two individuals thought it was just a joke and funny. Okay, I don't know where we stand on the damage that got done to the library with broken windows and screens and siding.
Yeah, I didn't talk to him about
So how, coming back to your being fair, are we gonna slap one wrist and then when those individuals are caught, we're gonna throw the book at them? Where does that line get drawn? I mean, they were old enough to be service members or going into service. They should have had more judgment, better judgment than that. So I'm just, again, I'm bringing out, we need to be fair. How are you gonna determine what's punishable? To me, to just say, oh, it's okay, honeys, you know, we're not gonna do anything. I'm sorry, I think some sort of repercussion should be done. I don't care if it's community service, cleaning with a toothbrush, I don't give a dang what. But letting those two kids off scot-free because they thought it was funny doesn't set well with me. I don't wanna ruin anybody's life, but they should have been thinking. My 2 cents.
Don? Rob? Ann?
You asked me if I got a comment or want
No
to?
comment.
Well, I agree there.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of stuff going on in town. Yeah, you get started cleaning up other people's crap.
If one thinks they can get away with it, what
I-
determines the next act?
I know with the military guy, we can go after him through his command, and he can actually pay it back if it's whoever, I don't remember who deems that appropriate, whether it's a civilian or the military side, and then they can garnish his wages to pay back for lost time for kids having to clean up, but I have no idea how to go about that. And I don't know what the other kids up to.
There is an option, I believe only one of them is in going through basic training right now. There is an option,
I just think he's gonna call.
I thought, sorry.
anyway, the one that's going through basic training or advanced infantry training, wherever he's at, we could write a letter from the city to his commanding officer, let him know what occurred, and they can take the appropriate action, because what it will show is that the person who, it reflects his performance reflects badly on the military as a whole. And they take that very seriously. He may just get KP for a month or two or whatever, I don't know, but it just needs, if we wanna go down that route, we can certainly write a letter and inform his superiors of his conduct. I don't know about the other individual, whether he's in the military or not. We need to get more information from the sheriff's department on people and what they have learned so far.
Well, this is everything he told me after last Wednesday, and he said he already talked to you about it.
I actually emailed him a week ago, and he said he hadn't yet talked to them. And so he hasn't.
Yeah, he still hasn't talked,
He hasn't gotten a hold of me yet as far as what he found.
Well, he hasn't talked to him since last Wednesday.
Okay. Well, then, whatever he provides me, it will be new.
Is that, he was done as of that Wednesday, that Thursday, there was nothing else being pursued by the sheriff's department. He said he told you what he thought, and he said as far as he was concerned, he was done. You hadn't told him that there was anything else he wanted to do.
So in other words, one got off scot-free or two got off scot-free, and the next ones are gonna get the law laid down.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
City clerk's comments.
I'm gonna try to take just a little mini vacation, August 23rd to the 25th. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have until the agenda.
Okay. I got a few things here. A lot of confusion going on around about the Highway 15 resurfacing. The latest word that we got from the engineer over at Sioux City was, and this is dated July 7th, we have not yet received everything we need from the railroad, but we are expecting to receive approvals in time to let the project in October. The time frame for constructing the project would be next year. That's been updated to basically say that they haven't received anything, they don't expect it to be until, to let the contract until the December time frame. but they're still hoping to stay on schedule so that sometime early next summer, they get to the work and it's completed by next fall. So that's where we're at with that. As far as the grants that we got for the trail, we can do part of those. We can't obviously do the part where they are gonna resurface the highway. So we can do some painting on the section that goes from the corner down here out to the park. We can paint the street markings and we can put up signs. Excuse me, that all needs to come forward. The rest will happen when it happens. Last meeting, there was some to do about what we can do down at Sunset Ridge on the, down there we had people driving their little motorized scooters and all that stuff. And I just wanted to go over the regulations for the parks here real quickly. Okay. As far as parking goes at any of our parks, all vehicles shall be parked in the designated parking areas. Use of drives required. No person shall drive any car, cycle, or other vehicle, or ride or lead any horse in any portion of the park except on established drives or roadways therein, or such places as may be officially designated by the city. So, we put signs down there that no motor scooters, no powered vehicles. You know, it's a park, it's a walking path, and I don't see the need to go any further on it. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, let's see what else here. Last meeting, I made the comment about the nuisance abatement process down off of, excuse me, River Street. I had said that that person was looking at a fine of about $30,000 at that time. That was incorrect on my part, so I want to straighten it out. The fine he was looking at that time would have been $145,500. That's $750 a day times, it was I think it was 161 days, something like that, 181 days. The fine that person is looking at right now is 229 days and $750, so that total is $171,750. We went through the process of going to court, sending him letters. Our attorney sent him a certified letter, which he failed to pick up. So that letter is going back to the attorney, and I have asked the attorney, do we want to consider it due diligence and just go forward with taking him to court again? Or do we want to have him, a process server serve him notification so that he understands he's in deep trouble? I just don't understand it. I love this computer. Every time. And we set a policy for what is called the brush pile or the tree pile. I hate to call it a dump down there because that's what it's become. So we set a policy and we voted on it last meeting that we were going to only open it on the first and third weekends of the month. I have received a lot of commentary from the town citizens about that. In some cases, it's too confining. One person said those are the only weekends, those 2 weekends of the month are the weekends that he works, and is not able to do anything down there. Other people, various comments, so would like the council to think about how do we amend that policy without opening it up to wide open dumping like we had before. Do we need to look at a process for checking out the key and making the person who checks out the key responsible for the content? And in that policy, that person cannot give the key to anybody else. They cannot leave it open. They cannot let anybody else in while they have the key. And if it falls on a weekend and there's nobody here, they would have to make arrangements to check the key out earlier. So they would be totally responsible, or something in that nature. We got, like I said, got a lot of pushback on that, and so I think everybody realizes that that facility was put there for the privilege of the city residents to use for their convenience. Maybe it's a little, not quite as convenient as they would like it to be, so do we want to look at something else? And I'll just leave that open, you can think about that. We'd like to nail something down before
Well,
long.
then why can't all of us have a key? And then somebody you know wants in, you take them down there. Cause see, everybody's under the understanding from the last meeting that you said you'd let them in cause you didn't have a life. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well,
said that, but that wasn't what
so
was
why
made in the
couldn't I
motion.
let somebody in there and watch what they're dumping?
Well,
I'm not gonna babysit people.
that would require somebody to be on call, basically.
Well, I don't have a life either.
My thoughts
Well, Gilmore
are,
City, I do believe that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And, you know, as long as they check the key out, they're responsible. Anything that happens between that time they return that key, they gotta cover that. That goes to them. You know, and I don't know.
But again, without a camera, I can get your key, go to my house, do all this stuff, and then by the time I get the key back, somebody could have just dumped something over the fence.
So that's why you
Well,
lock it
that's
up and
why-
you leave.
No, I said dump something over the
Well, if they
fence.
dump it over the fence, you're pretty much gonna be
Yeah.
able to tell that.
There's nothing we can do about that.
I think if we go to a key checkout system, I agree, you're the person that's checked that key out. Until that key is returned, you are 100% responsible for what comes in there. Something comes in that's not supposed to be there, and there's an expense, whether it be labor, material, vehicles, whatever, to remove that. That is that person who checked that key out responsibility. Maybe then they'll be more cautious and responsible as to, okay, I got the key, don't you dare bring something in there that shouldn't be there, or I'm gonna get the one that takes.
But then what's our
The only,
time on?
the only problem with
weekends?
renting that key out, say they rent it out Saturday, they will farm home and ten just like it. Then you've got keys everywhere.
Well, we're gonna have to start trusting, we're gonna have to trust.
I wouldn't rent the key out, I just have somebody, I mean, Tony's on call every other weekend.
Well, as one resident put it to me,
Not to babysit the key.
I'm not leaving my family to go and lock
Yeah.
the closet.
Okay.
We can make it work.
Because one person-
I don't want somebody to get the key for 2 hours, the next thing you know, you got 30 people down there.
well, we have to try to satisfy as many of
Citizens.
our citizens as we can. One person pointed out to me, says, you're punishing the whole town for what a few bad apples do. And I said, unfortunately, there's no way around this, you know, without some sort of a key checkout process. I can tell you what, I've been down there with the payloader, trying to clean up and organize. Concrete, landscape block, landscape timbers, some with the hardware still in it, lumber, remnants of burn barrels. And this is all put into the, not even the compost area. We're supposed to just put leaves and grass in, let it cook its way down and become garden gold, so to speak. And we've got all this junk in there. And I'm talking about stumps this big around, limbs. It's just a mess down there. And so we have to control it in some fashion. So, you know, I'm open to suggestions. I know you guys have brought up some good suggestions there. So,
What would be the problem for that, with having it open just every week? Can we do that?
it's possible.
We have to ask the general public to be more alert. When they see something going in there that should not be going in there, then they need to see something, speak up. If they're tired of us all having to pay for somebody else's problem with people telling them what to do, and we all have to pay the bill, speak up. You know right from wrong.
All right. That's all my comments for right now.
So do we need to vote that we're gonna open it back up on weekends?
Not during comments.
Not during, we can do it in the other part of the meeting?
Barb was, it was
Yeah.
on the agenda under Barb, so.
Sure. Okay.
All right, so, utility reports. Tony, got anything?
Nope.
Everything's just working just peachy keen?
It's all perfect.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
All right, citizens' comments.
I have several citizens' comments. I guess I should stand up. So first of all, I agree with Lana. If we just give some people slaps on the hand, then other people say, you know what, they didn't have any consequences, so we can go ahead and do certain things. And I don't feel that's right at all, so I totally agree with her. I'm just gonna comment on the dump. I don't see a problem with it being open every weekend, not during the week, because there are people who just kind of disobey every kind of rule and do what they want. I went for coffee at a friend's house and I kept hearing this rooster call, and I said, we're not supposed to have roosters in town. So then I figured out it was just a call because it was going off. I was down there 2.5 hours and it went off 2 times on the hour. So are we supposed to have rooster calls in town? No? But some people, that's another thing. They think they can do whatever they want and dump whatever they want at our city dump or tree area, and then they can just do things to irritate people. And then I would not want, and I don't think any city council member here would want any of these third world looking places next to their property. So when we start voting on things, or you start voting on things, let's get it right and get these places cleaned up. You know, it's really sad. We have some people that were gonna move back to Rolfe. They're fixing up a house, but they're not gonna stay because they don't like what they have seen. They don't like all the trash that's in people's yards. Junk cars, you name it, it's everywhere. You know, and we call them, as people in town call them, little Saigons. Over there, and now we're getting another one started over here. Third world country looking places. They have to be cleaned up. It's called respect and pride. Pride for what you have, pride for what your neighbors have, respect for what your neighbors have. I see people over here, they have their house looking nice, this house is looking nice, this one looks good, and then this one has weeds all around it. Why can't we just take care and help each other? So I'd like to see when I go visit some people for coffee at different locations, that I'm not hearing a rooster call. I'd like to see the dump opened on weekends, and one person be in charge of a key, and that key doesn't stay out long, or at least unlocks. Because I agree with Al on that, people are gonna start making copies if we let keys out. So there are just things that need to be done. And this council has done a lot of work, but in years past, a lot of stuff has just gone to the wayside. And it just needs to stop for the benefit of all people in town. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. All right, complaint forms are none. No unfinished business. New business, sheriff's update. Anything?
Just keep the law and order the best we can. To address the pool thing, yeah, I'm working with the county attorney, whoever deputy handled it, I'll just keep working with them. Yeah, I'll make you a call.
Something must have been up yesterday.
Contract.
Yesterday, we had police and sheriff cars going by, no stopping. They were definitely in high speed, which if there was something taking place, I fully understand that.
There was something that warranted it, so we gotta handle it.
All right, next up is Mary Jo Litwiller of the Pocahontas Economic Development, who's gonna give us an update on the survey that went out earlier this year to all the county residents.
Thanks for letting me come. There was a survey that we sent out to all the residents in Pocahontas County, and we received 471 responses, which was 78 more than we had 5 years ago. So we were excited about that. The front page is for the county, and so the rest of it I'll go over is for Rolfe. And so if you look at the front page, we have 471 respondents. At the bottom, 8.5% were from Rolfe, is how many people are the percentage. If you look down on the right, it says what is needed to grow for the county. People said retain current businesses, attract young people, and improve conditions and infrastructure. So you can look at that as a county, but what's more important, I think, is for you to look at the information for Rolfe. And so if you take the other pages, again, on the first page, 40 people responded. So they either responded for online or through the paper copy. And the majority were 65 plus. 21 people filled out the survey, and then 50 to 64-year-olds were 12, 35 to 49, 5, 25 to 34 is 1, and then 1 person under 18.
Did everybody in the city of Rolfe get this survey?
They should have. They were sent,
I didn't get one.
really, they were, we did the thing, we emailed to every household that we got from the post office. So my apologies if you did not get one. And it was also online as well. But, if you look at page 3, at the top, it will tell you how many people have lived in Pocahontas County for so many years. So people that lived, actually in Rolfe, more than 20 years, 29 people, of those 40 people. If you look down below, it says best things about Pocahontas County in Rolfe is definitely the peaceful setting, 35 out of 40. And then 22 people said proximity to others, and then the low cost of living. So they needed to pick like 3. So you can see there. On the next page, it says what brought you to Rolfe. 20 people said they grew up here. 12 said close to family and friends, and 10 said a job. This is the interesting part, the next one, that I'm going around to all the different cities. I'll go to Gilmore City tonight too. But I find it most interesting is the question about, do you plan on staying here 5 years or 10 years? And for 5 years, the yes was 22 people. But if you look at the people unsure if they'll be here in 10 years, 22 out of 40 people. So to me, that says something that maybe there needs to be some changes or things, you know, done with the city. And Rolfe is not the only city that the uninsured is higher. Several of our cities are higher.
How many were the 65 or plus 65? Wasn't that about 20 something? Because I wonder if some of them asked about 20 years, they might think, well, might be good, but.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them, and, you know, and that just tells us that we do have an aging population in Pocahontas County, and that's why it was so hard to lose the nursing home in Pocahontas as well. And we have a meeting tomorrow night if any of you want to come to that. But there's things that we're trying to do for the future, for nursing home and long-term care. The next page, page 5, what Rolfe people want you to focus on is 39 people said retaining current businesses, 34 attract young people, and then the next one was improved preservation of buildings was 23 people. And you can see what was not a priority and what was a priority. So that should help you look at some of the different things that you want to do for the city.
So what do you guys do in the county to bring businesses in?
Well, I actually have a meeting with your mayor on Friday about buildings, commercial buildings here, about a lot of different things to see what we can do to bring people here. I'm working with the Small Business Administration from Iowa Central College, and I'm actually working with someone for a possibility of purchasing Havelock, a bar in Havelock. I've got 5 businesses coming to Lorenz. I have 1 new business coming to Pocahontas. I get inquiries weekly, and so trying to filter those throughout the cities and find out who wants to come to Rolfe, who wants to come to Verina, wherever it may be, working on grants. different
Okay,
things.
over in Lorenz, we got a program that takes kids probably middle of the academic level and teaches them, they got CNC, welding, and something else over there.
Are you talking about our Career Academy?
Yes.
Our Career Academy is for high school students,
Yep.
sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and so I work with that too. I do the marketing for it, and we have 11 students in it this year.
How do we get that into the school system? Because you talk to kids over there and they have no idea that's going on.
Yeah, from Iowa Central, they send out recruiters that are supposed to talk to the counselors and talk to the students in Pocahontas. I know that there's 2 students that they pay for to come to the program each year. And so those recruiters are supposed to be in the schools recruiting for the Career Academy.
Okay, now, I've also had, cause I'm working with another group on that, starting something over there. How hard would it be to bring additional, like, there's a lot of kids that wanna like auto body, stuff like that, how do we?
Yeah,
And I know this doesn't necessarily have to do with Rolfe, but if we don't keep kids around,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the survey, they're coming in more.
There's a lot of things that, I am doing a seminar each month, according to what, like CNAs, we're needing, people to work in nursing homes, hospitals, we're looking for QuickBooks for businesses, and there's different things for mechanics and auto body and so forth, and so as soon as we know that these programs are good to go, then we'll start adding programs. That's the whole idea of the academy. And then I also work with the companies to place those students, like we have 4 students that are gonna be working in a manufacturing plant, place this year, and they'll get paid, and then they'll go to school in the academy as well. So there's lots of things going, and, you know, I would love to come to the city council meeting and share more at different times of what we're working on, but I'm only one person, and I am working for the county, and want the best for the county. And so, and it's not just Pocahontas, I get that asked a lot, it's for county as a whole. So,
Isn't Jessica on that?
yeah, Jessica's my chair of the commission, yeah. So if you look at page 6, thanks for your questions, page 6, what people currently use in Rolfe, which they really like, everybody really likes the trails. They're amazing, so congratulations. People love the trails, they love the parks, they love camping, you know, fishing, swimming, but the trails and the parks they really love. Something, you know, you get the people that want, I want a Chick-fil-A in Rolfe, or I want Culver's, and, you know, and that's just not gonna happen, unfortunately. And so we have to be realistic. And so doing what we can to keep our businesses here, so they don't leave and go somewhere else. But people, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt. They want a movie theater, they want more restaurants, school activities, pickleball court, and a wellness center. You know, some of those are just unrealistic. And then also improve Highway 4, which is kind of funny because it's 15 that you're working on. And so some of these I'm like, why are you going out? This means Rolfe kind of thing. But they would love more programs for seniors in the community. And then an exercise place for people to do exercise. So, yeah. So, you know, if for some reason you want this broken down even more into, you know, who said what, we can break it down even more. But hopefully this can help you and shine a light on what some things to work on. So, any questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Barb Bennett is unable to be here, Jim, because she had back surgery, but for the fireworks on the 4th of July, the days before, the days after, I thought we were.
We got a point.
Oh, okay, got it. I skipped one, sorry.
I did.
Next up, we've got to, book economic development, we need to appoint an alternate for that position. And Dee has graciously offered her services with that. And so,
Can we nominate her
We just
and
need a
vote on
You
her?
just need to make a motion to appoint her as an
I wanna
alternate.
make a motion to appoint Dee Syndergaard.
okay, do I have a second? All in favor?
We have a
Congratulations.
meeting Thursday. I have one.
Congratulations.
I'll be in touch with him.
Okay.
All right, now, Barb Bennett, as Mary said, had back surgery, so she's not able to make it. So Mary.
And sorry about jumping ahead. The fireworks, and I know, we have a group that gets together and sometimes we talk about different things that are pretty annoying. And for Barb, it's really annoying by her because even after 11 o'clock, so 9 to 10 to 11, 3 days before, 3 days after, somebody's shooting off some big fireworks down by her neighborhood. She's 78 years old. She's getting ready for bed, and then suddenly she's just shocked out of bed because the fireworks are still going on. So I know that's what she wanted to talk about. She probably can go into it a little more extensively. So, but that's what her main situation is with fireworks, and not just on the 4th, the ones before and the ones after. So I think they're supposed to be done by 10 o'clock. Am I right on that? But they're still going, well, then maybe that should be, yeah, that's what she said, 11, and maybe that should be dropped down to 10 o'clock. Because a lot of people go to bed by 10 o'clock, especially us older people. Not Judy,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll leave you.
Don't.
I'm still out, so it doesn't really matter. You what? You're in bed with Jen too, so even some of the younger people. So, and I don't know what her, what she was gonna say about the tree number, I didn't ask her about that.
She sent me an email about that,
Okay,
but I think he's still looking into
so
that.
is there something that we could do about the 11 o'clock being changed to 10 o'clock?
What do you want, just talks about the safety requirements and sale use for exploding fireworks. I'm sorry. It says, no person shall discharge a fireworks device outside the following dates and hours. The weekend before and the weekend after 4th of July from 10 a.m. till 11 p.m. July 3rd from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. and July 4th from 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. So the council can make a change to the ordinance and reduce that time from 11 to 10, but that would require us to have a workshop, put the language together, and then bring it in to the council meeting, a separate council meeting, and vote on it. And have to go through it 3 times, right? Ordinance has to be read 3 times. It can be waived and only done once.
Is this pretty much when the other towns around are, they 10 to 11, you know?
I have no idea.
You guys 10 to 11, Steve?
I don't know.
They wake
I
you-
go to bed about 8:30.
And they were going on from West Bend till
So,
like
we
1
wanna make
o'clock
a
in the
change,
morning.
then we
So-
need to set up a workshop to draft the appropriate language and then go from there.
If that's something, if the council wants to look at that.
Yeah, if they want to.
I'd like to see what some of these other towns are doing. I really don't.
Okay.
I don't really think it's such a short time frame.
Does the state code allow it?
What's that?
Does the state code allow it?
No, the state says that towns can set their own time.
Yeah, I realize that.
I don't think there was one set in the state code.
And you respond to Barb then, because that's what she wanted brought up, so would you send her the
I'll take a look at
or
that and
text
see what I
that
can
and
find
let her
out from
know
other
what they're
towns.
doing? Okay.
You're talking such a short time frame. You make these noise makers, you put next to your bed like I got, I don't hear 'em.
Some people really get carried away with it. All right.
So do you know, was there something different about the tree dump that she had emailed you
Well,
about?
are we done with the 4th of July stuff then, for now?
I'll take a look at the 4th of July from other towns, see what their ordinances say. If we can craft something that's similar to what they do. All right, the second part of her comments were gonna be about the, tree pile. We talked earlier about possible resolutions, take
I
that
don't know if she had
forward.
any
This-
other thoughts.
This was what she emailed me. I really miss not being able to go to the tree dump anytime I want to dispose of fallen branches, dead plants, lawn trimmings, etc. It upsets me that because some residents cannot follow the guidelines, that now we cannot take items to dispose of only on the first and third weekends of the month. I was hoping that they would consider adding that Monday with, title there throws me off,
Monday with that time frame, since that is a recycling day. I personally don't want to spend my weekends taking my debris to the dump, just a suggestion. So she wanted to add that Monday in too, because the third Monday of the month is recycling day,
Recycling, yeah.
which would follow the first and third weekend.
Well, it's unfortunate, but that's how you all get screwed up if people don't follow the damn rules. You know, some people just don't think they have to.
So do you wanna try that first? Do you wanna amend the policy with the key check out? Both of them?
Why don't we try it out?
How about we do it every week and then see how it goes?
What's that?
How about we do it every week and see how it goes? I think we're idiots to give that key out.
So if we do every weekend, assuming we implement Barb's suggestion, that would be open it up on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday every week, close it on Tuesday through
No, we're
Friday.
opening it up on Fridays.
No, we open up
Saturday,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Don't do the Monday, because I mean, we're giving them 3, 6, 9, 12 days to get stuff down there.
All right, well,
That's.
if you wanna go down that route, that's fine, we can do that, so we'll open it up. So, I guess we'll need a motion to change the policy to open it up on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays every weekend, and close it up Sunday night and through Thursday.
I'll make that motion.
That seemed to be acceptable? Yeah, I made a
Giving
motion.
our fine citizens and residents another chance, and when it gets abused again, no guarantees what the council may be forced to do, guys.
One thing too, people need to understand is that if the tree dump needs to be open for city purposes such as cleaning up the parks, cleaning up the golf course, or anything else that city owns, that's totally separate. That's not favoritism, that's just the city doing its own business. So we have a motion to open it up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every weekend. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion carried. All right. Okay. This is for the new parent? No.
We have the approve the street report resolution.
You have the street report.
That's the resolution, that's the street report. It's just the report we gotta send to the state showing how we spent all of our road use tax money.
There's really no discussion here, just you have to be, just read this and then.
We don't have to read this, we make the motion, so we make the motion the first and the second.
Okay, so. The resolution number.
Oh. 710.
Okay. Rolfe City Council met in regular session today. Be it resolved that the city council, needs to or has approved,
Approve the street report.
yeah, need to approve the street report for fiscal year 22 and 23. City street financial report as presented by the city clerk, as the official financial report of the city for the period of July 1, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. So I have a motion to accept it.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we gotta do a roll call.
We just said roll call.
Lana,
Yes.
Connie, Al,
Yes.
Bob, Dan, okay. 5 ayes. Okay. Resolution is approved. Next, as everybody probably aware by now, John, our water and wastewater operator, put put in his 2-week, notice, and his last day was last Tuesday. So we'll be looking for a new person. We've already advertised in the paper. We did not put in there a wage because we wanted to talk at this meeting about what the starting wage would be for a new hire. We need to be competitive with these outside areas like the gravel pit over Gilmore, and the elevator and other places where they could probably draw fair starting wage, so. Wanted to get your take on, what we need to do with it. Raise that starting wage to make it more attractive.
Well, it's definitely gonna make a difference on, what qualifications the new guy would have.
Yeah. Well, they should have, obviously, they should have a CDL in hand, and if they do have some of the city's qualifications, wastewater, water, or gas, that would be great too. But most people will come to us with probably just a CDL and like we've seen before, the willingness to go through the courses and get their qualifications, and, so.
What do you currently start?
I was just thinking, somebody's gonna ask me that. Was it 3?
22.
He started out at 22.
Was it 22?
No, 23, I think.
No,
22.
22 to 22.
You wanna go look at the resolution real quick?
The 22 is really
22. He got hired at 22
Yeah.
Then they usually get $1
per thing.
per certification.
They get $25 within 6 to 8 months.
And so, anyway, do we wanna bump that up to give them a start, to attract some people that are interested? We'll wait for Dee to get back.
Where are we,
What were you-
advertising?
I didn't put a wage. I just, like I
Where
said,
are we advertising?
the paper, the green paper, the regular paper, the green paper that goes, 4 or 5 counties or whatnot. And then, it'll get posted into workforce development.
What's involved with Indeed?
I do not know. I have never done
It
that.
gets results, I know
A
that.
lot of people are on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I think Indeed needs looked at.
The co-op does it.
Can look into it.
Where's that, what's that?
It's like a
They do
website.
an online thing.
It's an online
Go to
thing.
Indeed.com and you fill out basically information about yourself, whatever, and it'll match you up with an employer that's looking for CDL. You know, somebody with CDL, it's gonna ding them or, you know, whatever.
Definitely,
But it seems to be a quick hit.
Another place that could be advertised is, you have these transition programs from people getting out of the military. And basically you get a hold of the HRO office at any base and they can put something together. There's people going in and out of the military all the time.
I think another thing we need to look at is why we ran through 5 people in 2 years.
Well,
I don't think they're smart enough to take the test.
22.
I don't think they realized how physically demanding it is. Besides the mental, like I say, you gotta be able to comprehend the computer and the paper trails that go with it. Because everybody thinks that, oh, anybody can do that job. There's more involved in collecting garbage or what have you. I don't think people have any idea the responsibility, physical, mental, that's needed for those positions.
For the last 5.
the coursework too. There's a lot of coursework that goes into those qualifications.
Yeah, I went to a one-to-one and somebody who don't know anything at all. So your 22 is God's punch for what we got.
Tony's been saying,
When you're dealing with DNR and the state reports and dealing with them and, on call, and probably one out of the last 5 were probably good with all that.
Well,
That's what I'm saying, I don't think we need to, I wouldn't advertise anything if we know what we're getting. I mean, what are they averaging, 6 months to a year, or even?
Well, if you don't make it enticing, and people are gonna go to the elevator, they can get better starting wage there, they can get a better one at the quarry. It's
Yeah,
six
but
of
why
one,
you-
half dozen of the
Why
other.
you gonna throw, why you gonna throw $22 an hour, the guy's gonna be here, not gonna be here in 6 months, and we're all over this again.
Well, we're hoping that you get somebody.
I'm saying get somebody who's got something, let's not chase money after nothing. Let's not offer them, 22, 23, and they bring nothing to the table.
You don't know really until they get.
Yeah, you won't know until you get it,
So,
get an
there's
application.
really no regulating that.
I wouldn't put a starting salary on there, I just leave it blank and see what they got to offer.
You look for the qualifications, I guess, and that's
Well,
where
and that's what I
Indeed
put.
will read those guys out. And not that I don't have any belief in newspaper advertising, because I've been there, done that, but, I'm sorry. A lot of people, even myself, went to Indeed.com, and I don't know how much cost to the employer is involved with that.
I guess I'll find out tomorrow when I start
I
looking
just
into
know
it.
there's lots of
If
results.
if that's something the council wants me to try putting advertising it out there.
Because a lot of people don't mess with the paper anymore, it's sad, but.
But if we had, if you put in, what they have to have, if you got the CDL, and if they got any water qualifications, well, you need to have something there that's enticing. And I don't think $22 an hour is enough to entice them, not nowadays.
Well, they get 3 certifications and then they get $25.
Right.
So you just put something about up to $25 depending on
Yeah.
qualifications. I think somebody sees $25.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be a way to do
That'd be
it,
a way for it.
yeah.
I think, from just getting in the office and I had a call when I was working in the office here recently. And I think we need to make sure that people know about the on-call, because they're on-call at night and they're on-call on the weekend. And sometimes, even in the last interview process, I was part of that. And I kept saying there's on-call time and things like that. And I really don't think that they really realize what that is. So when you guys are interviewing, I think that needs to be part of the conversation and make sure that they understand that there are some responsibilities with this job. It isn't just come to work
Yeah,
7
show up and get paid.
to 4.
Like a garbage week.
Yeah, and you're not just doing garbage or spraying weeds and things like that. There are many, many reports and certifications and everything that's required. So,
Well, that's kind of why we got rid of, this is the last guy left, we just couldn't handle it.
Okay, any more discussion?
So you're not mentioning
Other than
that some
to-
computer skills or whatever, that's not just physical.
Other than to enhance the job description, the requirements and all that, we'll just leave everything else the same for now. Just wordsmith the job opening, all the language that goes with it, explore a few more places to put these out at.
Qualifications up to, $25.
Start or something.
Are we good with that, or do we need to take a
So-
look at that, or?
So when they call, is that what you want us to tell them? The pay could be up to $25 an hour, depending on qualifications. Because people do ask,
Well, the
for
qualifications
those of
would
us
be
that are in the
upon
office,
getting your
how do you
certifications.
want us to answer that?
You tell them the starting wage, and then for each qualification,
An extra $1 an hour,
So what is the starting wage? That's what you have to do.
leave it at 22.
Just put it up to 25 depending on the qualifications.
didn't we have the existing starting wage is 22, right?
That's what we hired John at,
But it
yes.
sounds better like Tony just put it, I think.
But sometimes those people want kind of what's the minimum wage? I mean, again, I had that question asked,
We didn't ask them what they can do.
yeah.
Just say up to
We don't know, what can you do? We're not gonna tell you unless you, well, you
Okay.
have to CDL.
I just wanna make sure that I'm saying what you want us to say.
Tell them fill an application, come to the council meeting. we'll
It's
discuss
a
it.
resume, not application, resume.
Or resume, whatever you can.
Her application and resume.
Any more discussion on it? Kind of all straight, we're going with this.
Yep.
Okay. Next item is, Tony Higgins' wages. Tony is a valuable asset here. And, we need to make sure that he doesn't think about moving on. People out there in the other industries are always looking for somebody like him, takes initiative, gets things done.
Been on call 24/7
Yeah.
for 2 years, basically.
Anyhow, we kinda talked about all this, and, I personally think we need to move Tony into $30 an hour, just flat wage. And, and just be thankful we got him. So, I'm gonna make a motion that we move Tony into $30 an hour. Second.
This would be resolution 711.
What do you got right now?
So we are at 27.
We have a motion, we have a second.
27 seconds.
Good, you told me about it.
I said give me something a little later on.
We need a roll call.
Jeez, you wanna fuck around a little long, but.
Starting as of today.
You want
they're
50
doing
bucks an hour on your call weekend?
This date, 14.
Can I get a loan?
This is 14, 23. Okay, yeah.
All right, so roll call vote.
So wait a minute, so then an on-call emergency weekends, he gets $50 an hour.
No, he gets
A day.
$50 a day, so he'll make an extra, he gets $100 for the weekend that he's not normally on call, just a straight $100.
So what's he get on the weekends when he is on call?
Just
The way it was
just
worded in
a
the
minute.
packet, it said $50, like an hour.
No, it says $50 a day.
It's $50 an hour, I'm taking it.
Day on the weekend, he's not on, that wouldn't be his on-call weekend.
And technically, I'm on call for a week at a time.
You've been on call for 2 years plus.
So we have a motion, we have a second, so I need a roll call vote. Lana?
Aye.
Connie? Dan? Rob?
Aye.
Al?
Sure.
Okay, there's 5 ayes.
I appreciate it.
Resolution is approved.
Thank you,
We appreciate you.
thank you.
We do.
All right, next item is the water tower logo estimates. As you know, the water tower work is supposed to start here shortly. They've got the temporary tanks in. We have not drained the water tower yet. We haven't been given the instruction to do that yet. Most, if not all, the equipment and materials is staged. Tony,
What's that?
most all the equipment and the materials are staged over there now.
Some are, I have no idea what's coming or what's.
Well, we're still waiting on the final word anyway. So we agreed that we were going to change the color from blah blue, or whatever the color is, to white. And we talked to the water tower people about the possibility of changing the scripted Rolfe up there to block letters, and then also to mimic the signs that we have coming in and out of the city. So everybody in their package should have gotten pictures of the artist rendering of that. And so there is an associated cost, obviously.
If I understand correctly, taking it to white, that's gotta be done regardless. So there's no extra cost involved for that. So we're basically looking at the name Rolfe going on there. If we go with strictly a block lettering, that costs us $7,000, correct? Or no, $6,000.
Yeah,
$6,000
for both sides.
for both sides.
Yeah.
If we go with the look of the Rolfe sign as you come in from the west along 15, if we put that logo up on the water tower, and is it two sides or one side? Two sides
You
is
could do
12?
either or, yeah, two sides was 12.
Two sides is 12, so we're looking at 6 or 12, depending whether it's block or whether it's something, I'll call it the pretty sign. So that's $6,000 difference. They will scatter that 6,000 over 3 years, in other words, 2,000 per year. And from what I know, the painting of the water tower, I think, lasts 25 years. So I realize we're having to pay 2,000 a year for 3 years, but we're really getting 25. So my thoughts, and it's just mine, everybody else got to chime in. My thoughts, I know we raised the water and sewer rates back in April, or it went into effect June or whatever it was. Have it see when the end of our budget year comes, which would be, I think, the end of June. See where we're setting at that time. If we manage to at least kind of absorb or be able to afford that $2,000 for this year, that's how that 2,000 is going to be, I'm gonna call it justified. That's probably not the right word to use, but the water tower, to me, when you drive into a community or you're seeing a community from a distance, the first thing you see is the water tower. I think that sets an image for the city. So,
You know, and, something else, that I just kind of was thinking about, this $5,000 that we've got offered to us, Angie, is that not something we can put towards this water tower?
so refresh my memory, what's the 5,000 from where?
From the Palo Alto County
Oh,
Gaming Grant.
Can we use it for this?
Well,
They
it's-
really
it's
didn't have
for the
any
veterans
You say there wasn't
day.
any stipulations?
No, there wasn't.
I like that idea.
Well, see, this way, we're talking apples to apples, you know, it costs just as much to put that block letter up there.
That's true.
Rob, how do you feel about it?
I like the new design. I'll make a motion to accept it, do it.
Connie, how do you feel?
You didn't mean to raise rates on stuff to pay for it, did you?
No, not at this time. No.
Cause that I do not agree with.
Al, how do you feel about it?
I don't think we need $12,000 one out there, cause it's not that water tower brings no revenue into the city, unlike business or something like that. But if we use the 5,000, and it's 6,000 to do just the block part, for both sides, or the way I understood it. So really, we only gotta make a difference of 1,000. So I'd be alright with that, but I won't, I'm not alright with 12. Cause, I mean, we're putting enough on people now.
So what you're saying is you'd be okay with the logo on one side, not on two sides?
Yeah,
Whatever the $6,000 that I was talking about, block lettering.
that's block lettering.
That's block lettering, that'd be for both sides.
Yep.
The way it reads, it's,
And that's with the whole tower staying white, not the bottom half being red, right?
I think that is with red bottom.
No, there was no extra cost on painting the bottom of the belly of the water tower, there's no added cost to that.
Okay.
So if you wanna do it red, then you can do it red, it's not gonna be an extra cost.
I'm alright with doing the bottom red and the block lettering like Granite said. we're
Right now,
using
Rob's-
5,000 that Dan said.
That's not,
Take, that,
That's
that's only
already
1,000.
signed. This is the
I mean,
12,000.
So we have a motion. We have a second.
Right now, Rob's motion is to do the, like Lana said, the pretty,
Red
welcome to Rolfe sign, the welcome to Rolfe sign
It's cool.
as the logo.
Dumb, everyone has block lettering.
So Rob's got a motion to do the block, or not, sorry, the welcome to Rolfe logo. That's what I'm gonna call it, the welcome to Rolfe logo.
I'll second Rob's motion.
All in favor?
Then we'll do a roll, let's do a roll call.
Oh, okay, roll call. Lana?
Yep.
Connie?
depends on, the money's not coming out of the citizens' bills. We're not raising that for that, right?
No, we're not raising
Not
it.
raising.
So were you at aye or nay?
If it's not coming, yeah. if it's
No,
not-
we have to do a whole
We have
separate,
to
yeah.
do resolutions.
Right.
Rob?
Aye.
No. Okay. Well, the ayes have it. 4-1.
But I cannot
What's
do
that?
it, Gilmore, Nancy,
4-1
okay,
what?
from what's water tower.
The ayes.
4 ayes, 1 nay.
I can't tell you.
Me,
No.
I don't think we need $12,000 up there.
It's not 12, it's, with 5, it's 1,000. It's 1,000
No, he
more.
wants the sign, which is more than the block.
You
The
don't,
way he
Well, the roll
puts it.
sign and a burgundy bottom. It looks cool.
Not burgundy.
but it's,
With the
but
red.
It's not exactly
you're
red.
missing what they're saying.
All right, well, that issue is settled.
Then it
But you're
comes
still
to
missing what
this.
you're saying.
He wants like a sign out there, right?
But it's,
Okay,
it's $1,000 more.
let's move on here.
That was, that
Well,
was,
hold on a minute, now.
No, it's 12,000 for the both
it's
sides.
12,000, with that $5,000.
That's still, so that'll be 7,000 that we'll have to absorb over the next 3 years.
It costs $1,000 more.
So we're using the 5,000 for action,
Yeah.
is that right? Okay.
All right, next item is,
So I need to, did he change his vote to an aye?
we've
It
Well,
already-
it doesn't really
it
matter.
doesn't matter, it's already approved.
But I know it passed, but
No, we don't need to go back and
We have.
revisit it. Okay. Next up is 807 Elm Street. Background is that, we're finding that these properties that go up for tax sales are being picked up by LLCs. And those LLCs are passing these things around without doing any improvements. And they just allow them to degrade into a junk pile. A good example is down here on Grant Street. That thing has been passed to about 3 or 4 LLCs so far. The place is gutted, it's junk, it needs to be torn down, but yet you can't get anything done because as soon as we pressure them to do something, they advertise it online and another LLC picks it up. So we have the opportunity right now on 807 Elm Street, which is down here, it's Jerry Girdman's house. Jerry is still the owner, even though he's deceased. There is no probate on this property. It comes up for tax sale. It has 1 more year before somebody can come in and snatch it up. I would propose that instead of allowing these LLCs to buy these properties, that the town pick them up and then look at disposing of the houses, tearing them down and selling the property, whatever's required. Just so we don't get in that do loop. Because once, like I said, the LLC picks up that property down there, it's just gonna rot, and we're never gonna get anything done with it. And that, so, I talked with, an attorney, not our city attorney. I talked with an attorney just to see what the possibilities are, and it's extremely doable. We could pick it up for perhaps just $1 or $2, and then we would have to deal with it. We know it's probably gonna cost $7,000 to take down, but then it's a done deal. If we get rid of it, then we can offer up the property. And I would propose that we look at future sales the same way. Keep an eye out on the tax sales and buy up the certificates, if we can, so that we don't get more of this urban blight here in town that we have. So I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Are we still allowed to take X amount of homes down the fire department with a burn at all?
They can take up to 2 houses down a year for training purposes.
Do we have to remove the asbestos prior to that?
Yes.
And they have to fill out paperwork with the DNR,
Yeah.
the
Has-
fire department. does.
has to be
We still would
certified.
have the
It has to be
expense of
certified.
that
Yeah.
removal. This is gonna be a loaded
I
question.
mean, obviously, if lightning were to strike and burn it down, you know, that's God and nature there. But, if we want more of this urban blight to continue, we can do nothing, or we can take this on board. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to budget it in with all the other things that we do, but it's just one more thing to get rid of.
How many other properties in town do we need to be doing that with?
There's a number of them, but we would have to explore each one individually depending upon what state of tax abatement or a tax situations they're in. So I'm just gonna leave it up to you guys. If you wanna talk more about it, we don't have to make an immediate decision, but it's just food for thought. Do we wanna start taking a hand? I know other towns do this thing. They buy up these vacant residences, and if there's no hope for them, they just take them down and get rid of them. So,
Well, I don't like the idea of buying these places. I don't
Well,
think we have
we
any
don't,
other
we don't,
choice.
no, we don't have to buy, if they're up for
I
tax
know.
sale,
It costs so much to burn down. And I'm sick and tired of watching all this stuff just turn into a shithole. So I'm saying, I just make a motion that we buy it as soon as we can and get rid of it.
okay, we have a second to that motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Tanya would have to abstain.
I don't know, and this is probably some place to make a comment. How much is this encouraging people to just basically unload their properties because they don't want the $7,000, $8,000 expense to have to tear it down themselves?
I get that.
You know, so that's putting it back on our citizens, that somebody's gotta pay for this junk crap that gets left behind, so how fair is that? And I'm sorry, it sounded like a fair broken record again here, but,
Well, I'll put it this way, if that would've been my dad's house, just like Charles Gunderson said, I said, Chuck, I'd had that cleaned up, and he said, no, you'd done it a long time ago.
I just don't know if we're encouraging, you know, I mean, I wanna see it gone as well. I just don't know how much precedence are not rec reviews are we setting.
What is it?
I have a
You can't vote on it or anything, so. Yeah, second. Dan Robbins, I agree.
we have 3 ayes.
Yeah,
Oh, right, all three, okay.
I'm assuming we can. Well, we can take a formal.
Yes.
Yep. Form understanding.
What sucks is you gotta do it, I'm not, I don't want, I'm just tired of watching everybody turn everything into a shithole.
There's somebody moving in, you know,
That's right. You got that right.
Maybe we can get a little scrap. Okay, last item. There last item is nuisance abatements. I mentioned, the area down there off of River Street, and the amount of money that's, the person owes and the situation there. The other is that we have a consent decree on, 401, Oak Street. The city will meet with the individual and discuss a path forward. In case people don't understand what a consent decree is, let me get it out here. It's basically an agreement, it's a continuance of a court matter under the terms and conditions established by the court. So, basically, we hope we can come to an agreement on what needs to be done. If we can't, then we will go back to court and seek the judgment. So that's where we're at on that, and I think that's everything.
So why didn't we go to court this time?
What's that?
Why didn't we go to court this time?
We didn't go to court because the attorney offered up to come to an agreement out of court
Our attorney or the?
and save money to both the plaintiff and, what's that?
I said, which attorney?
Mr. Habhab made the proposal to our attorney. And so both attorneys agreed that we should try to come to a resolution and save both parties money in court and see if we can come to an agreement. If we can't, then we'll go back to court.
And then what are we gonna do? Just keep going back to court?
If we go back to court, then there'll be a final judgment.
Maybe there'll be a final judgment. That'd be final.
So, with that, no more business, do I have a motion to
Move to
adjourn?
adjourn.
Second.